Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Paul Weymouth and today I have 3 books that I want to share with you and review. The first book is The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. The second book is The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie by Alan Bradley. And the third book is Network Effect by Martha Wells. So let's start with The Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is a reread for me. Wheel of Time holds a special place in my heart because I read it as a kid and as a teenager and then as an adult. But when I first started it, I was just probably like 12 or 13 years old. This time through, I've decided to read the audiobooks. They're narrated by Michael Kramer and Kate Redding, and they're so good. They know the characters so well, and all of their personalities. There's just such an energy as they're reading the book. The Eye of the World introduces us to characters that we'll be with for 15 books. Now, I love origin stories. Origin stories are my favorite, and it's nice to see all of the humble beginnings all of our characters start at, how naive they were, how headstrong they were, and I just love those type of books. Also, there is a lot of fabulous foreshadowing, and there is a lot of hints being thrown in this book for the rest of the series. The biggest difference, though, from reading this book as a child to reading this book now as an adult is that as a child, it took me months to read this book. But now as an adult, it took me just days. So when I was a kid, I thought that some scenes were really long and took a really long time. But as an adult, I realized that those scenes don't really take that long and they're not as complex as I thought they were. My biggest issue with this book is that I think the end isn't all that exciting and that it can be quite confusing for first-time readers. I think as a rereader, you understand the ending a lot more, but as a first-time reader, you don't really know the difference between Rand al'Thor and Lewis Theron and how they're kind of connected. I'm really glad that I reread this, and especially on audiobook, because I needed something comforting to read, and to me, this is a comfort read. I'll definitely continue to read this on audiobook, but it's not a huge priority. Okay, next up we have Alan Bradley's The Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie. This is a cozy mystery book with an 11-year-old investigator who knows a lot about chemistry and is very curious and well educated about everything. Flavia de Luce finds a body in her garden, and her father is to blame, and she seeks out to try to exonerate her father from this murder. This book is very much a Nancy Drew book for adults or for young adult readers. Flavia is an easy character to enjoy. She is so smart, so precocious, and so educated, and you just want to root for her. As she investigates the murder of this man, she unlocks a bunch of information and mysteries about her father's past. And it all revolves around these stamps that are very expensive and they are missing. This is a delightful book that's easy to enjoy if you're in the mood for a cozy mystery book. However, I just wasn't in the mood for a cozy mystery. I don't really know why I picked it up when I did. Maybe just because my audiobook came in on hold, but I just wasn't in the mood for a cozy mystery because it just wasn't exciting enough for me. As amazing as Flavia is as a character, I found this book to be kind of boring, and I was just kind of going through the motions. The mystery wasn't really all particularly that interesting to me, and I really didn't care about her father's character or his past. Overall, I would say if you like young female characters that embody the spirit of today's females, but put back in the time of like the 1950s, I think that you would enjoy this book. Unfortunately for me, I was just a bit bored and I just didn't really connect with it. It's not a bad book, it just wasn't the right book at the right time for me. Alright, the last book we have today to review is Network Effect by Martha Wells. This is the first full-length novel from Martha Wells in the Murderbot series. In this installment, Murderbot finds himself having to save his friends, help out his fellow AI buddy Art, and uncover a mystery about an unknown group of people that are trying to kill everybody. Murderbot is a very enjoyable character. I haven't seen recognition and love for a character as much as Murderbot in the science fiction and fantasy community in a long time. Murderbot as a character is learning how to deal with humans while very much acting human himself. He reminds me a lot of like Dr. House from House, if Dr. House was an AI that liked to binge watch television. If you loved the Murderbot books before this, you'll probably love this one too. As someone that only liked the Murderbot novellas before this and found Exit Strategy to be kind of boring, I just didn't really connect with this book much at all. For whatever reason, Martha Wells' writing just doesn't capture my attention. I'll start reading and then I'll have a hard time focusing on the story. I found the prose to be very wordy at times, unnecessarily wordy, and so many of the verbs are like compound verb phrases, and it makes reading it very clunky. Also, there's a mixture of first person with second person, as Murderbot has these like aside moments, and also there are sections in the book on a different timeline talking about something else. And it just is kind of confusing until you find out really why those are there later in the book. Also, the beginning of this book started off a little oddly. It started off with scenes and plots that really had nothing to do with the further plot in the book. And it takes Martha Wells about 40 to 50 pages to get really into the meat of the story that she wants to actually tell. Overall, I really wanted there just to be more editing done for this book. I also find the corporate politics to be a little bit uninteresting, and all of these side characters in this book and also in the novellas just seem not to have any personality. They're usually just background characters to Murderbot, and I really couldn't tell you the main characteristics of the side characters and the other characters in these books. You know, listen, I really wanted to love the Murderbot books. So many of my friends love these books so much. I read 5 of them, but you know what? I just have to realize they're just not for me. As much as I wanted to board the hype train that is Murderbot, I think I'm just going to have to stop here, unfortunately. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments below what you've been reading, what you've been enjoying. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments below. That's okay. That doesn't bother me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video.